Guys, so 2025 has been a whirlwind of a year. There's been an emergence of brand new technologies, some standing of the old guard, right? Some strategies and things that will still be effective moving forward. Some things that maybe we need to put to rest. And in this next series of lessons, what we're going to be breaking down is what's worked well in 2025, measured, statistically shown to have the best results, which gives us a good indicator into what's going to work well, at least in the beginning part of 2026, as well as some of the things that didn't work well. And this very first part of it, guys, what I like to do when we are introducing these sort of modules and these lessons series is start with something foundational, right? So start with the elements that we need that are going to set us up for success for the rest of what we're going to learn. And just like in the curriculum I was just showing, right, in this sort of all of our founder coaching curriculum, it's the same thing, right? We have these foundational lessons up here that are about how to craft your ideal value proposition, right? How to craft your your ICPs, your ideal customer profiles, and those value propositions that accommodate to and speak to those people. Those are all examples of foundational lessons. And moving now into 2026 in the age of AI and things like that, I want to do the same for you here. And I have a little presentation that's going to kick this off for us. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. The first thing, guys, in this first module, what I want to talk about is data, right? The time's past where you could like buy a phone book, right? But people are still purchasing lists. But I'm here to say that that opportunity, that methodology is disappearing, right? It's becoming less effective for a number of reasons. So if we're looking at these services that provide lists, right? First of all, that information is now almost publicly available. There's a million tools you can use to scrape all of that data that's available from these third-party data providers. The second thing to realize is regulations are tightening, privacy is tightening. There's so many things that are happening around this data that like if you're purchasing a list, those are not opted in. They don't know who you are. They're not warmed up. There's not even a guarantee that they're valid or accurate contact points. And so that's what third party data is looking like, right? It's tightening, is inaccurate, and the ability to leverage that third party data is decreasing. Again, third party, what does that mean? It means you're buying a list from somebody. You're saying, hey, do you have emails and phone numbers and information from people that I want to use and that I can then go call and text message and email and stuff? Well, that, like, again, multiple parts of that world are now changing and disappearing, right? There's not, in the US at least, there's not any place where you can go buy a list of phone numbers that you can then text message, right? SMS is opt-in only, or should be. If you're a real legitimate business following regulation, you shouldn't be cold text messaging people from third-party data because they haven't opted in to receive communications from you. So that's an example of first what third-party data is, an example of the regulations and things that are happening around that third-party data versus first-party. So what I'm here to encourage you guys to do is take your business by the horns, take your life, your future under your control, and let's begin working on first party data. Let's get better at generating our own first party data, not only generating it, but qualifying it, enriching it, cleaning it, making sure it's maintained. That's what this introductory lesson is about, because as again, we move forward into the future here, a lot of that public data is going to be commoditized, right? Any AI tool can scrape all the public emails. So it's not about, oh, well, how many emails can I purchase from a provider? It's going to be more about how can you get the people to say, hey, here's my email, here's my phone number. Why don't you contact me with your offer? Because the conversion rate, the efficiency, the effectiveness of those types of messages is going to be 10 and 100x what these, buying a list and spamming them is going to be. That world, guys, where you could buy a list and set up just blast a million emails to somebody and have that be effective. I would say it's gone even at this point, right? That's not something that anyone would recommend. Any professional would recommend that you do for a business, mass email, spam purchased lists. It's not really effective these days. But what is effective is first party data. So guys, I wanted to kick this off with the shift that's happening. This is not brand new, right? This has been over the last several years. Last year was the email apocalypse, right? 2024, where you can't cold email people anymore. You can't mass cold email people at all. Your sender reputation is going to get tanked. Your deliverability is going to become shortened and reduced when you try to do these things. So again, just more examples, more direct examples of how these regulations are cracking down on third party. If they're not cold, if they're your contacts and they're opted in, you don't hit those same limits as cold email, right? As 50 per domain per day type of thing, because they're opted in. So anyway, this is all to set the story, set the lens of what's happening in the end of this year, moving into next year, and how we can prepare ourselves and equip ourselves to have a business, right? To be successful in moving forward. And it's going to be less about where you can purchase third party data and more about how you can generate, qualify, and enhance your own first party data. So if any questions on confusion between first and third and what regulations and things like that, go ahead, let them rip. Let me know. We'll discuss those further. But that is the state of what's happening. So let's go ahead and continue. So why this first party versus third, right? First party data is this means you've captured an email, you captured a phone number, they filled out a form, a digital or online or in-person form, right? This is first party data that you have generated, captured, qualified yourself. These are channels that you own, right? Your website, your social media profile, your Dubb landing pages with a form capture on there. All those are examples, or like an open house sign if you're in real estate or something. All those examples are first party. They're much more accurate typically, and we can verify their accuracy. I'm going to show you guys a couple of nice resources for quality enhancement, accuracy. It's personalized. These people have opted in to receive the communications, so we're not hitting the limits. We're not hitting the spam reports. All the negative things that happen in that third party data world don't happen here because they know that you're going to communicate them. They've said, yes, please communicate with me. Are there caveats, right? Are there trade-offs? Yeah, you can buy a million emails at once. How useful are those million emails? That's to be determined based on a bunch of factors, or you can generate your own. Is it more expensive, time consuming, maybe more difficult to generate your own? Yes, but you have all these other benefits. It's future-proofing your business, right? You're not sending emails to people that are like, who is this? Why are they emailing me? Let me mark this as junk or spam. Or you're sending them a text and you're like, I don't know who this is. Let me mark this as junk or spam. That's what happens with third-party data far more often than our first-party data. So again, this is just a painting the rest of the picture, the other half, right? I showed why third party is going away, why it's sort of problematic, the limits and issues with that. And this is why first party is so much better. And again, it is a little bit more difficult to gather first party data, but that's why we have this technology, why we're going to show you the rest of what this training is about, to make it easier to capture these people, to make it easier to qualify and nurture and do everything that you're supposed to do with your first party data. So again, just a extrapolated definition of first party versus third party, I think should be pretty clear now, the difference between those. And if we kind of discussed this already, right? If you're sending to third party, the limits, the spam reports, the headaches, the lack of result, that's one thing that's often actually, it's not even listed here and not talked about a lot. You go and buy a list, you have high hopes, right? You have high hopes for this project, this business, this venture you're doing, and you go and purchase this list because someone said that's what you should do, or what your thoughts are, whatever. You buy this list and you're like, okay, I have 100,000 people. So that means if I get a 1% conversion rate, I'm going to make $1 million. It's going to be amazing, right? And then you send all the emails and texts and phones, and then you have a 0.001% conversion rate, and your email reputation was tanked, and your phone number reputation was tanked, flagged as spam, marked as junk. So now you're not even set up to be able to do anything again. So not only were your inspiration, your motivation, right, that was crushed because you had this expectation that was frankly unrealistic based on that route that we're going. So anyway, those are some hidden costs, guys, of using that third party data, setting yourself up for failure and not setting yourself up for future success. Is there some world where that's still possible? Right? Yeah, sure. But is the likelihood of that happening? It's like the moonshot, right? It's very rare and unlikely that you will purchase lists and have some amazing outcome from the beginning. It's extremely difficult and unlikely. And instead, we're going things the proper route, right? The way that every coach and consultant that's, or white hat sort of AI chat, whatever you're asking for general business advice, they're going to tell you the right way of doing things and the wrong way of doing things. Once upon a time, this was the right way, right? You bought the list and you spammed the list. Once upon a time, that worked, and we're no longer there. So that's why I'm, stressing the importance, guys, of this first party data and avoiding those behaviors that, maybe were successful in the past, but are going to not be successful here moving into the future. And also not only the tactics and strategies, but the behaviors and the mindset, right? This idea that, we can just acquire infinite amounts of third-party data and blast them and spam them as much as we need until we get the result that we want. It's a dying strategy. So anyway, a couple of answers to this for you guys. What we have done, right? What my job as the co-founder here, as your guys' resource, is we always want to provide both the technology and the strategy and training behind some of this stuff. So this is going to actually be this is one step ahead. Let me come back. The first thing I want to do is talk about what Dubb has done to capture first party data. There's going to be several things on this: the presets, the landing pages, capturing testimonials, posting to social media, right? There's going to be several things on here, one-to-many messages. There's even using AI to capture leads. So there's several different lessons here on how to capture. And these are full lessons, of course, that I can't jump into entirely. All these are available at your guys' convenience, right? It's like a college course at your convenience on how to do all these things. But just very briefly, what that looks like. First, there's forms, right? Forms are the most convenient way to capture first-party data online. It's super simple and straightforward, right? First name, last name, email, questions, custom fields. If you're having questions about how to create forms on Dubb, no problem. There's lots of training and resources available there. You can also integrate third-party forms into Dubb and the CRM and technologies and stuff like that. I only mentioned forms because it's the simplest, probably the most common way of collecting first-party data online. Forms in person, right? Like if you're a physical business, a form of some type. In fact, I'd level that up. Go QR code to a form, right? And with Dubb, every video has a QR code that has a form beneath it, and you in a video explaining the form. So landing pages like these here, right? Dubb video landing pages with forms or calendars. And then there's also the AI. The AI can also capture leads. So these are all different ways, right? A form, a calendar, the AI chat, all different ways that you can use Dubb to capture first-party data. Now, what you're doing with that data, that's autoresponders. You're triggering automation sequences. You're creating manual tasks for you to follow up, or for your sales team or something to go after those opportunities. So what you're doing with that data and how you're capturing it, these are technologies that Dubb completely provides and supports for you. Trainings available all the time on any one of these things, on demand or live, right? The live trainings every day, chat every day, one-on-one support for every client. So this is just so you guys are aware, this top of funnel, the capturing first-party data, this is exactly what Dubb is built for, right? Generate content, which is back up here, right? You're understanding your ICP, posting to social, understanding your niches, all these foundational, all the way to the top automated messages. It's all about what we're talking about right now, which is creating content to capture first party data, which leads, right? In order to grow your business. That is essentially what a lot of these lessons are around. And that isn't the first part of this presentation, capturing the data. What this slide is actually about is cleaning up that data. First party data is only as good as long as it's accurate, right? If you have an email of somebody and they put a fake email there, that does you absolutely zero. And in fact, it's a negative. It's going to hurt your score just like the bad third party data would. So first, Dubb has a phone number cleanup tool. If you guys have a list of numbers and you're like, well, one is +1 and the other one is 1-91 and the other one has parentheses in it. If you're uncertain about your phone numbers and you're looking to do SMS marketing, Dubb has a phone number cleanup tool built right inside of it. Here, just one second. I'm going to show you guys this. Just want to make sure I don't show anybody else's phone numbers. So here, like this. All you have to do is have the phone numbers in your Dubb contact CRM, and then you can click right here and use the phone number cleanup tool. So that's one idea of normalizing, of cleaning up contact data. And this concept, guys, extremely important. Again, the data is only worth anything if it's accurate. If you have a phone number that goes nowhere, there's no value, right? So keeping your data maintained, hygienic, that stuff, that's really what this is about. First is phone number cleanup. This second thing, guys, emails, right? Making sure the email is deliverable. It's not just that it's a catch-all or a junk-free email like a mailinator or something, right? You want real good emails that people actually are going to open potentially, and you only want to send to those. If it's if you guys are aware of all these, they're called disposable emails or email traps or whatever. Mailinator, Mailinator is one. There's a whole list of these guys, right? And you never want to send emails to those things because they go to a black hole that no one's going to open or receive or have, and that's only going to hurt your reputation. So, just an example of a different type of cleanup. There's, of course, bad emails that the emails are just not good. Then there's those types of emails like disposable and catch-alls and stuff. My point of saying all this is we are going to provide you a email cleanup service. Normally, if you go to do this, right, clean email list, this is a cost. This is not a free thing. In fact, it can become sometimes expensive. It can be like a penny per email or something ridiculous I've seen where that's what they want to charge you, right? Let's see here. Pricing. So they want $125 to clean 25,000 emails. I don't know what the math. So it says, look, half of a penny per email. In my opinion, ridiculous. If you guys need, if you're unsure, you need help with cleaning an email list, this is something we're going to be providing to our clients. So if that's something you need right now, if I would say never send a bulk email or trigger an automation or do anything in outreach if you're not 100% certain or as close to 100% certain as you can be that your emails are cleaned. This is a service we're going to provide. We're piloting some technology internally right now. It does this automatically. So you guys won't even have to request it here moving into the future. But for right now, because of the limits and things on it, it's still in a beta sort of test. We would like to have that be fulfilled upon request. So if you need an email list cleaned, work with us. If it's a giant list, it might take some time. If it's something smaller, a couple thousand, let us know. We're happy to provide this for you. The reason, again, we want to provide the technology and the strategy and the convenience for you guys to grow your business without having to learn and build and do and buy a bunch of other stuff. That's my mission for you guys. Everybody that's watching this video or in these sessions, I want to make your life and your business easier in whatever ways that we can, like small things like this. Why go pay $125 to clean your list when we can help? So that's an offer from us for you. Duplication detection. This is one of those things, like this is an automatic process, just one of the examples of automatic processes inside of the Dubb technology and things like that as well, where we'll avoid sending to bad. We won't send to duplicates, right? You won't hit duplicates twice. There's a lot of features in here, safety sort of rails, guards, whatever, that we've built to help avoid a lot of issues like that. So the idea here, there's 3 different types of cleanups. One is a manual where you're going to click something to clean something up, right? Whether it's tagging, filtering, cleaning up. The second is by request. If you need support with something like cleaning a list or organizing or importing or whatever, that's the by request, the service that we will provide on an ongoing basis to help you. And then the last example here, the third thing, the technology, is the things that sort of automatic processes and things that are happening behind the scenes. So 3 different examples of what we're doing to help you guys avoid problems and, be more efficient and effective as we continue to progress. So, all right, this is an actual like to-do list, right? This is something that if you're doing these things regularly, like you're posting to social or you're doing some form of lead gen, maybe it's in-person conferences or an online ad, whatever it is, this is something that you're actively doing. Like a lot of people don't do this, right? I have a book of business and I just remarket and touch my sphere, and that's the thing, right? But for those of us that are growing a list, right? We're posting, we're generating leads, we're doing something. And this is something that you should be doing on an ongoing basis, right? Removing the bounced emails. Eventually, that's the beta right now where this should happen automatically. For now, we have a service that we're going to provide for you for every customer where we can help clean your emails for you. Sending to bounced emails is not good for anybody, right? You get reputation damage, no deliverability, no result. We get a client that had suffering, right? You guys are suffering. That sucks. So we both should avoid that. So we want to help you with that. Removing bounced emails, fields, having things like the tags and segmentation. There's going to be some other additional information around segmentation. That, guys, it comes back to the foundational lessons as well. Your ICPs. segmenting your audiences. You can have more than one ICP, right? Like we have 33% of our businesses is in real estate and investors and agents and things like that. And then there's another chunk that's in every other professional service, right? Mortgage and insurance and financial advisors. So we would technically have more than one ICP. We wouldn't speak to financial advisors the same exact way that we spoke to real estate agents, right? So that's what these lessons are about. And that's also what this lesson in general about the shift, right? Your first party data, segmenting it, standardizing those labels. Do you have one group of people and buyers and sellers, old leads and new leads, hot leads, leads interested in product A or product B? That's what we're talking about here is segmenting, cleaning up that first party data. And this is a regular thing. It's like I said, if you're growing, if you're doing this you're posting, you're running ads, you're generating new contacts, doing this on a regular basis is what I'm recommending, because otherwise then you have this giant list of stuff that gets old and, some of it's inaccurate, some of it's relevant. Maybe you're feeling lazy and you go to blast that list. You're like, well, I ran ads, and then boom, you got yourself in a trap again. So that's why these are regular things, right? This isn't a one-time only thing. Duplicates, that's one of the automatic things. Stale contacts, guys. This is something that we actually have a feature again that we're piloting internally, where if somebody has never opened one of your emails, right? You've sent them 10 messages and they never opened a single one. You actually do not want to continue to send to that person. It doesn't benefit us, right? If they've never opened it, at this point, our sender is going to start sending this stuff to their junk anyways, because they're like, our emails are junk to them, right? They're not opening them or caring about them. So the email service providers say, well, to this person, your stuff is junk, so we're going to send it to junk. And because you're not such a good email sender, you're just sending junk to people, we're going to lower your deliverability scores. So that's what this fresh contact, stale contact, it's another layer of what we're talking about, right? Of a layer of data quality, which is how old is this contact? What are their behaviors that are determining their age or their engagement? So again, lots of little levers or fields to be aware of, right? Who are they? Like which tag, which field, which segment do they belong in? Are they old? Are they new? Are they unengaged? Are they only mobile? Right? There's all these different ways to segment our data. And guys, I know this sounds like a lot of work, but I want to tell you something. Because we are in the age of AI, this is all 10 times easier than it used to be, 1,000 times, infinitely easier than it used to be. If you had two data sets, right? You had one sheet of 10,000 contacts and another sheet of 8,000 contacts, and you wanted to do some comparisons between those things, you were either going to have to go take a course on Microsoft Excel or whatever, right? A sheet course and like learn how to do formulas and advanced stuff between comparisons. Not easy, right? Hours and hours and hours of work to either learn or to master those skills and then to do them manually. That's not the case anymore, right? Now we have AI. Literally just ChatGPT or Grok or any of these tools, Claude, you can throw your sheets, upload your CSV file directly and say, compare these two data sets. Tell me, are there similarities? What are the commonalities? What are the differences between these two data sets? The reason I'm saying this, guys, is because we used to have an easy excuse to get out of some of this stuff, right? To get out of some of these things. Oh, well, check the quality and check that, see if there are duplicates between these two lists. That used to be hard. It's not hard anymore. You can literally upload sheets to AI and ask them almost anything. There's also, it can do a lot of scraping for you. It can fill in the gaps, right? It can say, hey, this business is located here. These people based on, and there's a lot of the stuff that I'm showing about the gaps and things and data comparisons. This is more B2B. It's, AI doesn't have secret insights on regular consumers very well, right? It's not like has secret FBI, CIA information on regular people. Not so great for B2C for some of the gaps and things like that. But it is for data management, right? Like, hey, based on these IP addresses, put all these IP addresses into a group. That's something AI is excellent with. Comparing data sets, things like that. So the reason I'm showing these two slides, guys, is AI has made it astronomically easier to do some of those tedious tasks, the mental gymnastics of data sheets and comparisons and cleanup, so much easier. So between, guys, any AI tool, look at this prompt, right? Compare these two sheets. merge them into one sheet, remove the duplicates, update the fields. This would have taken a person hours probably. If they didn't know how to do it already, even more hours, right? This is now a 30-second prompt that's accomplishable. So your first party data, that whatever you've gathered over the weeks, months, or years you've been in business, is more valuable than ever before as we continue to move forward. But again, the value is only based on how clean and well maintained. And this is how we're going to do that. So much easier now than before. Okay. Here is just the step-by-step, right? Of what this whole system looks like. We talked a little bit about this, collecting the emails. This is with forms, calendars, AI, lead capture, right? We showed some of the technologies that we're doing and the strategies, right? The technologies and the strategies are here in the curriculum of how to leverage technology and a strategy to capture this first party data. That's always the first thing. And maybe you have a list already. You already have first party data. Cleaning this. I mentioned several different opportunities. There's the manual things where you're clicking the phone number cleanup tool, where you're applying tags to segment your data, right? Those are manual activities for cleanup. Then you have Dubb's services. I mentioned we'll clean emails for you. We'll scrub we'll clean up phone numbers for you. We'll try to help you in whatever way that we can from a technology and technical standpoint. So that whether they're old contacts or new contacts or ongoing, coming in fresh contacts, making sure they're clean, organized, enriching. This one's really more again about a B2B, like locations and putting contacts into certain groups and things like that, scoring them based on business profiles and activities, right? If they just raised money, that's going to increase a score of a business to business opportunity because they just raised funds, right? They have money to buy stuff. You don't know that about a regular consumer. So the enrichment stage is more about B2B than B2C. Segmenting, though, extremely important for every audience, right? We were talking about cleaning and organizing the data to make it as valuable as it can be. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Are they old? Are they new? Have they never opened? Have they opened every email? Those are different examples of how we can begin segmenting our contacts. And there's tools and strategies and processes for every single one of these things. The coaching curriculum will show you how to organize things with tags, with things like prospects, your ICPs. It's mostly within the Dubb system. A lot of it's tagging, so it's not complicated, right? You don't feel overwhelmed. Oh my God, segments. What does that mean? Just tags, right? Different lists with different tags. The last thing, if you're, of course, to launch this entire strategy of you guys doing this with regularity, right? It's like going to the gym. You got to sign up for the gym first and build your exercises, organize your routine, go to the gym. It's the same thing. It's a hygiene thing. It's a health thing. And again, just like our physical health, more important than ever before, right? It's how well can we take care of ourselves and our business and our data to protect and to grow moving into the future here in the age of AI. So guys, that's the quick lesson. A lot of stuff packed into a little bit, but you see I've broke out into little sessions for each one of those. So whether you have questions or concerns or comments on any single section of that, I've shown you some resources to dive deeper into whatever part that you're stuck with. And now for the privileged few that are here in the group for us live, we're going to end the recording and jump into a discussion. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.